street, we look at the gangs. They're pulling our kids out there, wanting them to be involved in activities that could be very hurtful. And then we turn over here and then we got the drug people involved in trying to take them away from us as well. And then they go to schools where they don't have equal justice in some of the schools. Some of those instructors don't want to be there. They want to be someplace else. What happens to our kids in the meantime? And the classrooms are packed. And then they go home. And then what happens when they come home? Our parents got to go to work. And then some of them aren't here with what they call legal status, and we gotta hide, constantly hide. And then we have a child who has issues and problems, and they don't have any help. We can't pay the dollar amount that it costs to give them the medical health, the mental health services that they should take. So they become what they call problem kids. And all of a sudden we have a child who's in the backyard. He's swinging a bat. He's having an episode, and we're concerned. We don't want that child to be hurt. We don't want that child to hurt somebody else. So what do? We call the supposedly peace officers. And then all of a sudden we find out and we get a phone call that Mijo or Mija just got shot in the head, got shot in the back, got shot. Instead of being talked to, well, do these things happen in other parts of town? No. We have to call them sir. But these same officers go to other parts of town and call them, sir, what's happening to your son, sir? What can we do to help? And they don't shoot them like they shoot our kids. They don't cause the same kind of justice. It's not the same way. We all grew up, I grew up as a kid, being, how would you say, attacked in a sense, being stopped in Chinatown. ¿Dónde están tus papeles? They wanted to know. Who carries our legacy? Everybody pull out your driver's license and see, let me see, pull out your birth certificates. Do you have them on you right now? But you know what? Chances are somebody who looked like me, somebody who talks like me, would be asked from all of you, enséñame tus papeles. And then I grow up and the same thing happens, I get profiled. I used to teach at Fresno State. On the way to Fresno State, I got stopped by the Clovis Police Department. They wanted to know what kind of behavior was going on and asked them what's wrong. I was shopping at a store. I got reported. There was 4 of us in the car. 3 of them were my students. We're going to a theater presentation at Fresno State University. I get pulled over. They wouldn't believe that I was a professor at the university. They wouldn't believe it because I didn't look like a professor. I didn't dress like, well, who am I supposed to look like? I am Guillermo Lopez, Willie Lopez. I am who I am. And you're all here for the same reason. And we tell everybody who's going to listen to us. I don't want to minimize what happened over there with the police officers. Yes, it's a tragic incident. But can you imagine? Can you imagine if that would happen to us? What if 5 Latinos or 5 black were to be shot today someplace? It would hit the news. It would be gone tomorrow. But you know what they're doing right now? They're collecting donations to take care of the families of the 5 police officers. That's great. Do that for us. They're trying to get the media and everything. They're on every channel every day, every morning. Do that for us when our kids get killed. They got them on TV. They're interviewing the people. They're taking history of each one of them. Oh, this person was a veteran, and this person had a good life, and this person left their children behind. They had a mother and a father, all 5 of them. I feel for them. But do that for us too. We're human beings. We have loved ones that we love and we care for. Do that to us as well. How many people here just in Fresno have been shot? How long have these protests been going on? They've been going on for years, Promises made. We're going to make a difference. Year after year after year. More deaths, more deaths, more deaths. What's it going to take? They don't want people to become violent. Everybody right here says we're going to keep the peace, and we intend to. But we have no control over the anger, over the frustration, over the hopelessness of a lot of people who aren't here right now. And if there's a protest, we will do what we can to keep everybody calm and collected. But we have no control over that emotion of having our kids dying. That's an injustice. And sooner or later somebody will say, well, why did all this violence happen against our state, our police officers? Well, because you weren't listening to us. You were paying attention to everything else. You were paying attention to all the other issues. But our kids, in the meantime, were dying. I want to say to everybody here, think with your heart. Think with your heart. We want justice and we want it now. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! And when do we want it? Now! Thank you.
All right, at this point, I want to recognize some of the families who lost their family members at the hands of the Fresno Police Department, and they're not all going to talk. But here we have Martin Figueroa. He was shot on May the 20th, 2014. His mom doesn't want to talk. It hurts her to come out here. But she's told us she needs to do something. She has to do something to carry on. Because this is her son. She called, and I'm going to tell her story really quick. She called the police because her son needed help. They shot him. And she told that to Dyer's face. And he needed to hear that because she trusted the police and they took her son. We have the mother of Manny and Armenta. Manny's been gone now, and I'm not sure if you want to talk to him. No. And these are mothers, and Manny, just like Miguel, also is not here, but his mom is. Because every time we have to come out here, I think these parents, and no, unless you lost a family member, you can't say you've been there. These parents need something, because this is their memory, and sometimes their children never got the chance to be talked about in a positive way. Many times they're vilified by the police department, and that's oftentimes the case. We also have the family of Raymond Angel Gonzalez. Did you want to say something? Did you guys want to say something? Come on up here. And they're going to make a quick statement, and then we'll have the family of Freddie Centeno come up and talk as well. This is the family of Raymond Angel Gonzalez.
Hello guys, I'm here to speak on behalf of my family. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family and my brother, Raymond Angel Gonzalez. I just feel like it's wrong. It's wrong what the police are doing out here to our people. You know, it's not right. They're here to protect and serve, but they have a murder, kill first mentality. They got all this training, and they don't use their training to their ability. They're out here worried about making it healthy their family, but how about our family that we lost? You know, it's not right. It's not right what they're doing. Thank you guys for coming out here.
We also have Freddie Centeno's family here, and he'll be, I'm going to ask Freddie's brother to come up and speak. And for those who were wondering, we've got Justice Medina here who will be addressing the crowd. He will be holding a rally and a forum on Wednesday, and he'll be talking about that. He's also the one in charge of what happened this Saturday at the rally on Saturday, organizing that. But before we do that, I'm going to have Freddie Centeno's family come up and speak.
Well, I just want to say that my brother losing his life to somebody that's supposed to protect you is just the worst feeling ever. And you know what? I don't feel safe going out now. I see a cop behind me, I'm scared. And you know what? It's just ridiculous. But now even with what happened with Dylan, what does that show you? What does that show you when they kill that guy? Come on, it's not about race no more. It's just they have to stop shooting. They have to. What happened with negotiations? Is that not an option now? Just to straight, just go for the kill? That's just wrong. And it has to stop. It has to stop now. Thank you.
All right.
We may have one more family present. If you are here to talk to us, and I would like you to maybe address the media as crowd. At this point, we had an event happen this week, this Saturday, on Blackstone. It was one of the biggest demonstrations in Fresno history regarding police brutality. And I'm going to tell you, when it was first put out there, a lot of people didn't know what was going on. We soon learned that it wasn't just somebody who was interested in what was happening, but it was a young person, I believe high school student, graduated from high school, and who put this on. And it brought out a lot of people. I'm going to let him talk about what's happening and what's happening on Wednesday, what he's organizing to follow up. Justin Medina.
All right.
Good afternoon. Just for one time, no justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
My name is Justin Medina. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm hurt. You know, this is my first time I've encountered somebody who's actually, you know, their family member's been taken away by the police, and I had to hold back tears. It's very beautiful though to see our community coming together. I mean, as we can already tell, it's not just black people that have to worry about getting shut down by the police. It's our Mexican brothers, our white brothers, as we've seen in Clovis with Dylan Noble. We have to demand justice, and we have to demand change from these cops. And it's time we take a stand, and we have to stand together. You can't just put it on us, the youth. I mean, it takes people of the older generation to come out and teach us what they learned from the civil rights movement, what they've learned from their fights against the system. And we're out here. Wednesday we'll be at the county jail to meet up, and I'm still talking to organizers, but we'll have a plan out on Facebook and on Twitter, hopefully by tonight. But we're shutting it down, and we're opening up the conversation. And we won't be stopped. I mean, this is just the beginning. Fresno, a movement's happening here, you know? And we all have to stand next to each other. On Thursday at 7 o'clock at Liberty Christian Fellowship, we're following up with the town hall meeting, and everybody that's here should be there. We have to voice our opinions. We have to figure out what this city needs the most, and then make change and make sure that we follow up and make sure it happens. There's all these conflicts, but where's the solution at? We have to find out. We have to do something about it. We can't just be out here protesting. Protesting won't do anything but raise awareness. We have to follow up with an organized plan. Thank you.
We have a fifth family who's shown up, and I'm not sure if you're ready. This is the family of Miguel Torres.
I just want to mention the chief of police, basically, like in the case of, basically, what I want to say is chief of police is acting in a way that reality is not helping us. Chief of police is a liar, and he's going to continue being a liar. We went to the last court where Veronica Carter was killed, was confirmed by professionals. And basically they say that 25 orders that were made by Fresno Police Department were not justified. But still there's not even a sanction against those police officers. Look at this guy that I have his pictures right here. He was shot 17 times. How many times, how many shots do you need to kill one person?
Come on now.
This is brutal.
Come on.
And I disagree that he's still in the position that he is right now. He needs to get fired. He already got his pension and he needs to go.
One more time, if we have family members here today who would like to say something, this is for you. And if not, we're going to open this up to people because we want the media also to know this don't shoot policy, the simple thing we're demanding, we're not even asking anymore. This don't shoot policy is that simple. Don't shoot. Negotiate, doesn't matter how long it takes, how much it costs, let's save some lives. And that includes law enforcement, by the way. All lives, black, brown, white, yellow, all lives. But it's got to start right here, right now, because if it doesn't, Fresno is no different than Dallas. It just isn't. Their police department is very similar. And Dallas was progressive in many ways, making some changes. Fresno's got to get with it and change with the times. 2 years ago, they wouldn't budge and they wouldn't work with us. We're demanding this time they take on this simple policy, don't shoot. Be patient, save lives. Thank you to all the family members who did speak, the Gonzaleses, the Centenos, the Figueroas, Manny's mom, and Miguel Torres. And if I missed anybody, please let me know. But we're going to be out here to help answer any questions. If families would like to talk to you, press, that's fine. But if they do not, please do not harass them. Thank you. What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? Now! ¿Qué queremos? Justicia! ¿Cuándo? Ahora! ¿Qué queremos? Justicia! ¿Cuándo? Ahora! ¿Qué queremos? Justicia! ¿Cuándo? Ahora! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Real lives matter! Real lives matter! White lives matter! White lives matter! All lives matter! All lives matter! Let's do this, Fresno!
Great speaker.
All right, we have Dr. Karen Crozier, who has always been a community activist, always at heart for anyone in the community that's hurting and underserved. And so we want to ask you about today. We see that the Brown Berets right here speaking, we see that families been hurt, and we also see that now we have a Chicano Latino brothers and sisters that have been hurt, and people probably haven't known about that. Probably haven't had the even forth knowledge to know that it's not only affecting black lives, but we got some brown lives that are being affected.
It is a great opportunity to stand with Brother Juan Ralphie Avicia, the Brown Berets, as well as Gloria Hernandez, in the ways that they have been for over 10 to 20 years engaged in the Fresno Police Department and helping them to rethink their attitudes and policies and practices and how they engage low-income, non-white people groups. The Brown Berets have been on the forefront of this movement along with National Network of Action with Reverend Dr. Floyd Harris and others, and it was time to respond once again to push Fresno PD to say, listen to the needs of the people, because people are dying day in and day out, and the attention needs to be brought to the people in ways that we do not have killings that occurred in Dallas, that we do not have killings that continue to be perpetrated in this country by law officers because they are licensed, empowered to kill. But the Brown Berets are saying, negotiate first and don't shoot to kill. And that's what this was about today, for Fresno PD to rethink their attitude, posture, and position in policing in our communities to save our lives, black lives and brown lives, who are the ones who are being disproportionately killed at the hands of our state-sanctioned violence police departments.
So Dr. Crozier, what do we do next? What can the community do right now to be a part of that process of change?
Well, one thing that Black Lives Matter Fresno is doing on Wednesday at 6 o'clock at the Fresno County Jailhouse, we are having another protest and action of healing to bring the people of Fresno together again. July 13th is the year anniversary of the alleged suicide of Sandra Bland, our sister who was stopped by a traffic violation. Supposedly ended up being dragged out of her car, violated, as well as arrested, detained, and was found 3 days later after July 10th, hung in her jail cell. We say her name because many times the media wants to politicize as it's just a male situation, a black male situation, but black females are more and more being detained, killed, arrested as a growing population in our prison systems. And so therefore our next step is to look at policing has to change. How do we come together to love ourselves in the midst of all the violence and trauma that is taking place, to say we are here and we are not going away until there is a change. Also, Black Lives Matter Fresno is meeting on Thursday, July 14th at 7 o'clock at the Californians for Justice office, and we are continuing to plan our various events, block parties, as well as educational awareness, as well as actions that we can come together across various racial, cultural, and political lines to say Black Lives Matter, because we don't want to accept the violence any longer.
Dr. Crozier, what can you tell a young person today, brown or black male, who maybe is the age of 13 and up, if they do get stopped by the cops, or I should say 16, the one that's driving, what do you say to them now? What should they do?
Right. right. That is a great question. ACLU has to know your rights. They need to get in touch with the basic plan to follow the police orders. Do not go reaching for anything, but to know that they don't have to open their mouths and to speak anything, but to follow the orders and directions of the police, but at the same time being comfortable to know their rights, to not to speak out of line until they get their attorneys on, or to get someone who they can come and protect them in the midst of that situation. But to not be fearful, but to be confident that yes, to know your rights in the midst of that situation.
Dr. Crozier, has there been any young people that have approached you about being fearful, wanting to know what to do, wanting to have an end to this? Has anyone approached you?
Not our babies in particular. Our babies believe that we are in a violence-ridden world and there's no way out, but the response is violence. So we're dealing with the uphill battle because that's what our state models, right? Violence by police. And so they may be packing, not so much that they're trying to kill somebody, but they're packing because they have to protect their lives. So we want to create a culture and condition where they feel like they don't have to pack with a gun or a knife, but they can pack with a different type of power because they know that that community that they live in is there to love and protect and serve them and not to kill them.
Our last question, Dr. Crozier, deals with the Black Lives Matter movement, as I see you holding the sign. Ironically, there are some Americans, non-black I say, that are appealing and saying that Black Lives is a racist organization and that it was their racism that caused the Dallas shootings of those police officers last week. What would you want to comment to that?
Black Lives Matter Fresno is pro-life. It is naming the violence that is being perpetrated and naming the realities that we have been in as non-white people since the beginning of this country. We are exposing the history, the centuries of racial violence and injustice that has yet to be resolved in this country through the various laws, policies, and practices. So we're only, as King would say, exposing the violence. We're not perpetuating the violence, and we're seeking to raise attention to the realities that we can no longer be, as black people, submissive to and acquiescent to unjust laws. So no, if anything, we are being people who are pro-justice, not pro-racist segregation and violence. We want to stop the racism. We want to stop the white supremacy. We want to stop the unjust killings. We want to stop the ways that we continue to be preyed upon in our communities and perceived as beasts, as humans, as police officers have shared, and then their impunity when they are not held accountable by the court of law for the actions that they have perpetrated on black and brown people. So that is the injustice, that is the racial injustice and violence that we are calling to attention. In our hearts is to see a different America that cares for black lives who happen to be experiencing trauma day in and day out.
Very well said. Thank you, Dr. Karen Crozier. We're here in Fresno, California, AMPTV reporting live through the On Me Network in front of Fresno City Hall. The Brown Beret have put together protests, and there's been protests throughout the week. And so we should be, where Wednesday, one more time?
Wednesday, July 13th at 6 p.m. at the Fresno County Jailhouse, 1225 M Street. Come with signs, come with your energy, come with your passion, come with your love, come with your commitment as we remember and say her name, Sandra Bland.
Thank you, Dr. Crozier. Thank you so much for your time.